class, welcome back. This is week 4 of CISC 350 Introduction to Data Communications. Hopefully you guys are staying cool. It's getting quite hot, so make sure you drink your water. Alright. And you know what? We're already halfway through the class. That's pretty crazy. We're on week 4. So, keep on chugging along. Everyone's doing great in the class, and I really commend you guys on, sticking to it. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but, everyone's doing a great job so far. All right. So in this week, week 4, we're going to be going into the data link layer. So in the OSI model, remember in week 1, right? Or even there's like 7 different layers in the OSI model, right? And so last week we did the physical layer. Now we're going into the data link layer. Now the data link layer sits in between the physical and the network layers, right? Kind of acts as like the middle point. And, we're going to be going into the different functions that it has this week and, why it's there, I guess, So everyone log into Canvas, go to your modules. Now, it's going to be in Module 4. Module 4 data link layer, right? We finished Module 3 last week, Module 4 this week. So the structure of each module is gonna relatively be the same as the following weeks. We have our overview video, which is gonna be this video right here, which will be posted. And then next we'll have the PowerPoint presentation that is associated to my lecture. Okay, so some of the things we'll be going into is, for example, the data link layer, and actually there's the functions of each sublayer within the data link layer. So the data link layer actually has 2 sublayers. It's called the logical link layer and the media access control layer. And each of them does different functions. One does error detection. For example, if you're receiving data from a different networking device, you want to make sure the integrity of that data or a string of characters or binary data has not been altered, because as you read in the last the last chapter or last week, when data is being sent through a wire, there could be noise, whether it's obstructions through Wi-Fi or on the wire, other electric currents around it or magnetic fields around it. It can alter some of that data. So going from point A to point B needs to check if any of that data has been altered. So it does have an error detection functionality in the data link layer. Okay. And then it also assigns a MAC address. So usually networking devices have typically, at least for the scope of the class, will have a MAC address and an IP address. Okay. The MAC address is more of the physical, actual address associated with the device itself. And we'll go into the IP address next week. All right. So for the most part, remember that the MAC address is the actual physical device, and a MAC address is going to be unique to every single device. You'll see that what was it? Yeah, here we go. You'll see that it's 48 bits. It's actually right up here. And the first 24 bits will identify the vendor. The next 24 bits will identify the unique identifier of the specific NIC and device itself from the vendor. So always unique, remember that. All right. And we'll go over a couple data link layer devices. And the data link layer, anything on a local area network, which is on layer 2, can communicate to one another. As long as something does not have to leave the network itself, things can talk to one another. And they can talk to one another by knowing their MAC address and going up to the level 2, to the layer 2. Remember how data travels from one device to another? It goes down each of that OSI model layers to one. From layer 1, it'll send that data, and then once like host B or the receiver receives that data, it'll open up as layer 1, and then it'll open up as layer 2, kind of decapsulates it. But anything on a local area network, it doesn't go farther than layer 2 as for going to the next hop. But that's all for another day. But essentially, yeah, we're going to talk about the way data travels within a local area network, controlled access, polling, and how, what's it called? If there's multiple computers or a device that hosts on a network, who gets to talk first, to prevent collisions, right? In addition to that, we will go into how data is sent, asynchronous or synchronous, whether it's going character by character or by big blocks being sent at once. And then we'll have Ethernet, like what is Ethernet, and a couple other things, optimization of a local area network. All this will be explained in the lecture. This is the next page. And then once you remember, big ideas, right? There's a lot of details in this, so just pick up on the bigger pictures. Once you review the content itself, I would like, for our assignment this week, I would like everyone to do a little research project, right? In terms of, it's only 2 to 3 paragraphs long, but I want everyone to look up a different type of network error detection technique in the data link layer. Key is the data link layer, because there is more, because layer 4 and 5, they have a sort of error detection mechanism as well. But right now we want to focus on the data link layer error detection mechanisms or functions. So do a quick Google search on the different types of network error detection techniques and on the data link layer, and write a 2 to 3 paragraphs on how it works, the accuracy of it, when it's used, because there's multiple types, and you use the multiple types at different scenarios. All right, so be detailed as possible. The more effort you put in, the more points you get. And something to take into consideration, there's a plagiarism checker in the back end. So if you are copying and pasting, you will get a 0 pretty much automatically, instantaneously. So just a heads up. All right. But yeah, posted by Sunday evening, 11:59 p.m. And you guys should be good to go on that section. And then finally, you have a quiz. All right, 5 points, 2 attempts, nothing too hard. All right, about the data link layer. With that, that's about it, really. Remember, I go into more detail than it needs to be, so remember, just pick up the high level topics. I just want to provide you guys as much information as I can to kind of prepare you guys for the next classes. With that, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. Please let me know if you need anything, and I'll see you guys next time.